God of all things. There is, of course, no God of good things and God of bad things, only God of all things, in my view. Bad things are to teach us lessons and to rebalance us. The same is also true of good things. The not so good things seem to us as bad events because of our limited understanding. Everything that happens to us is to teach us to become purer souls. And as I always say, everything that happens to us is to make us who we need to be, and that is purer souls. The joyous and beautiful things uplift us and put us into our harmonious state that we love, and these spaces are much easier for us to navigate. The less joyful and more painful and challenging things that happen to us need to be looked at in a different way, so that they too can make us feel harmonious and joyful too. Of course, unless we fully understand this, we cannot manage to change these things into joyous, let alone less painful things. The reason for this is because we are still trapped in this duality of good and bad, happy and sad, light and dark. My guides often tell me that our misunderstanding is because we do not yet understand life. Or as many say nowadays, understand life. This is, however, all changing, and changing now. Guidance to me by Archangel Metatron has recently stated that our understanding of life will soon indeed reflect that of inner standing. In the Kabbalistic teachings of my favourite Kabbalist Isaac Luria, the Ari, the lion, he has a way of understanding the creation of all that there is. To put it very basically, in the beginning there was only source, nothingness, ayin. God decided that it needed to know itself. So in the nothingness of ayin was created Ein Sof, which means endless or infinite. So was created a space inside of this no-thingness to create creation. Within this space, creation was manifested. Please don't shout at me if my understanding of these is different from yours. I'm allowed to have a different understanding. In the Bible, it states that in the beginning was darkness, and then light was created. So all that exists, the dark, the light, the yin and yang, was all created by God, infinite being, source, whatever name you wish. So if this is what we believe, then how can anything in our known existence not be from God? I recently heard a very interesting story about the founder, I believe, of the Sikh religion. Again, I've heard this secondhand, so apologies to anyone who, if I misquote things. I think it went something like this. This man, the founder of the Sikh religion, he was told that he shouldn't put his feet pointing towards the wall of where the meteor is, in the wall in, I think it's in the temple in the holiest of holies for the Islam, which is in Mecca. And there's a meteorite, in the wall. And he was insistent of placing his feet towards this holy of holiest things. And the priest got very upset with him and they threw him out. And he said, why? and they said, you shouldn't be pointing your feet, which a lot of religious people think as being unclean because they walk on the ground. And they said to him, you shouldn't be pointing your feet towards God. And he said, tell me where God is not, and I will point my feet there. Everything is a creation of what we call God. Doesn't matter what name you use. As some of you are aware, I connect with archangels and star beings, and they both refer to God in ways. So I do not have any doubts about the existence of God, only what we have been led to believe that God is. The man with a big white beard sitting on a throne up in heaven in the sky above. No, for me, that's not how I visualize God. A being that hears our every thought and is answering us back whenever we need an answer to our life's issues. Like, oh, should I buy a new car? No, I don't think so. If we can get our heads around just what God is, then our understanding of life will be much improved. So let's just say God is the creator of all that there is, the architect of all that there is, the software and firmware designer of all that there is. If we can see all of the above, then we can assume that when mankind was created, other spiritual beings were also there, whose job it is to monitor and guide the human experience. They have been called, amongst other things, watchers in the past, and are indeed what we now know as angels, or more correctly, messengers. The Hebrew word in the Bible for angels, that we use for angels, is actually the word for messengers. Programs were included in the design of humans so that we can receive guidance from our own life experiences over our lifetimes, as well as being able to receive guidance from our spiritual beings who guide and watch over us. There is no doubt in my mind that this is what God has done for us, so that we can receive his wisdom via the messengers. These angels are indeed our interface between the divine and us. I always see us as being the interface, because we are the interface between heaven and earth. We're like transducers, which changes the essence of earth, moving it towards the essence of heaven. I'm sure this might sound different to what most of you have been told to believe. All I ask is that you look at these ideas and see if it resonates with you. I'm not saying I'm right and everyone else is wrong or anything like that. I'm saying this is my point of view at this moment now. That's all. I don't want to change anyone else's beliefs. I'm just expounding on mine. This said, I still thank God every day for allowing me to wake up breathing, so that I can be with my family. I say grace before dinner and thanks for all we receive, because I know that these positive vibes of gratitude enhance everything and help me to feel connected to the oneness, because there is no doubt that we are all a part of God. We are one with all that there is. If I require help or guidance, I ask first my higher self, archangels, or star beings for this. The lessons we're given are usually to purify our souls. They're never to make us suffer like we're led to believe. There's lots of religions who press we're here to suffer. We've never been here to suffer. It's just our understanding that's been a bit misconstrued. It's our understanding of life that is wrong regarding this, nothing else. When we have what we refer to as bad events, like, God forbid, the loss of a loved one, especially when not through old age, this is something that no words from me or anyone else or ideas can make us feel good about. I know this firsthand, as I have had this experience myself on a few occasions. The downfall for us is why we feel so bad, and usually it's because we feel sorry for ourselves as we're missing that person. Of course, when someone is going through a lot of pain and discomfort in the end of days, it's usually a merciful release. They can leave here sooner rather than later. Again, I have had great experience of this also. So know this feeling well, of asking God to take them up before the next wave of terrible pain comes and makes them suffer even more. Still, after they go, we feel the loss of them being gone. We're without their presence, and again feel the loss or just the pain of missing their joy and love, companionship, and so on and so forth. People at that time usually come to us and they mean well, and they say things like, I know how you feel. I lost a dog once when I was a kid. Oh. And some others try and help with, things like this, something similar. They mean well, they're trying to help. The fact is, no one can know how you feel, how any of us feel at this time. No one. So, shortly after my beautiful first wife was buried, I was going to see her in the graveyard. And as I was walking through past the gravestones, reflecting on why I had a lovely neighbour next door who was in his late 80s, and my darling had died at 49. And I was thinking, why was she taken so young? And I heard a voice, I'm not joking. Not a voice outside of me, just outside of me, not in my head. And that voice said, I need her here. She has important job to do. And funnily enough, this was only a few weeks after she passed. My whole nature changed at that moment, of knowing that now she was helping God in her new life, in her new mission, made everything so much easier to cope. Not totally, but slightly. A short while later, I was also guided as to what that job she was doing now was. And this made me realise a lot about how much we need to learn about life, and especially the part of life that we call death. Now, don't get too upset, because as my dear father, God rest his soul, always used to say, one door never closes without another one opening. And so, because of my wife's passing, God bless her, I was able to meet and become spiritual friends with my wife of today. We've dedicated our lives to helping in the ascension of Gaia and all beings thereof. And this was only made possible because I was actually allowed, in a way, to clean my karma with my first wife's passing and open myself up to receive the many blessings that my new life has allowed me. So let me reiterate. I believe now that everything that happens to us is to make us who we need to be now. This phrase is all we truly need to understand. And then we can live joyous and happy lives every single day. We can love the lives we live as well as live the lives we love. Thank you.